Welcome back to Midweek Encouragement. Thank you for joining us today. Hey, I remember back, I was probably about 14 years old. I know I wasn't old enough to drive because I took my bicycle to go down the street to a friend of ours to borrow something for my mother. Now, two very memorable points about this mission trip that my mother sent me on. Mom's words were, "Be very careful with this item. I'm borrowing it. Be very careful." Now, the second memory was as I rode my bicycle home, I was holding the item in one hand and my steering wheel of my bicycle in the other. And I was remembering my mother's words, "Be careful, I'm borrowing this. Be careful, I'm borrowing this." Well, keeping my eyes on the item, I didn't pay attention to a car that just seemingly jumped out in front of me and I ran into it. The car had been parked there. I even passed it earlier. I didn't drop the item. I did what my mom said. My mistake was I didn't have my eyes focused on what was ahead of me. As I think about that story, how often do we tend to keep our focus right in front of us rather than what is ahead? Jesus said in John chapter 14, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. Trust in God. Trust also in me. In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, I would have told you that I am going there to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you may also be where I am. You know the way to the place where I am going." Thomas said to him, "Lord, we do not know where you are going, so how can we know the way?" Jesus answered, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you really know me, you will know my Father as well. From now on, you know him and have seen him." So, as believers in Jesus Christ, as Christ followers, what do we need to do to keep looking forward? What are we looking forward to? Oh, the return of Christ, eternity in heaven, more people coming to know Jesus so that they can be in heaven with us. As it says in Colossians 3:2, "Set your minds on things above, not on earthly things." Too often, I think believers in Jesus Christ look at their mountain and think that they can't get through them or over them. And it's time to stop telling God how big your mountain is and start telling the mountain how big our God is. We have to stop looking at ourselves as victims and start seeing ourselves as victors. We got to quit wanting people to feel sorry for us, to tear up the invitations to the pity party because no one wants to come to it. I think one of the things that we can do to help ourselves look forward is to help people see beyond the moment. A number of people are simply stuck in a rut. Now, what is a rut? Well, a rut is a grave with both ends knocked out of it. Rut living is dangerous because we tend to get used to rut living. God didn't create us for living in a rut. Jesus says, "I have come that you may have life and have it to the full." He never said, "I have come that you may live in a rut and stay there forever." Jesus didn't die on the cross for rut living. In fact, he died to fill in the rut. John 3:17, "For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved." Your enemy, Satan, comes to kill, steal, and destroy. In short, to throw you in a rut and leave you there, and throw the dirt in on top of it if he can. What what you focus on, you become. There is a term called vuge de moment. It's the reverse saying of deja vu, meaning already seen it. But view day moment is saying I've never seen it. But we intend to flip the status quo and create it. The view day moment invites you to shift your thinking, creating a disruption from the norm to ignite innovation, increase accountability and profitability in life and business. The Veju de moment equips you to shift from average to brilliant, guide you to personal and professional success by harnessing the power of the moment and regaining control of your inner steering wheel. You put yourself in gear and move forward. Moses had to look beyond what God was calling him to do, look beyond what was in his hands and his limitations. He had to look up to see that God was with him. And when he died, God said something powerful to his successor, Joshua. He said, "Moses, my servant, is dead. As I was with Moses, I will be with you. And I think to help us get a different focus, it takes us to focus off of ourselves and start focusing on others. We exist to know Jesus and to make him known. To make that happen, we need to love others. What kind of fish do you see yourself as? Carp, a catfish? Just taking what comes your way? Or do you see yourself more as a salmon, swimming against the current? Now, something powerful about salmon, they swim against the current, and they're going upstream to spawn. After the spawn, they die. Jesus said, greater love has no one than this, than he laid it down in his life for a friend. Love is designed to come from each of us as individuals. It's not a baton for a relay race that you hand off. There are people you know that will help, but it's up to you to do all you can to meet the needs of those around you and pass it off. And when you pass it, if you don't pass it off, you rob yourself of the blessings that God has in store for you. So keep your head up, eyes on what is ahead, not what's behind. Focus on the right things.